Welcome back, folks, to more Ultima VII Serpent Isle. Yes. Alright, finally we're going to go ahead and get out of monitor. I've done about all I can do here for now. We need to get to Avatar Unpoisoned. That's highly annoying that I need to click out of that. Yeah, of course he's not here. I'm gonna break open your chest, son. Alright, what do we got here? Get some chain. The pre-shield is actually as strong as a magic shield, so once we get him with a good one-handed weapon, we'll change him to that. Chain armor and antique armor. Let me consult my little armor guide here. Chain armor gives a defense of 3. Antique armor is 2, so we're going to lose the antique armor. Put on the chain. Chain! And of course we didn't steal anything. So we're going to go ahead and leave. Avatar doesn't steal, he just borrows. After I'm done finishing the game, I'm going to do a couple videos of me returning everything to its rightful owner. Hopefully you don't believe that. What the f... Holy shit. I'm going to go ahead and do a save here. We're going to head over to the Sleeping Bull Inn. Pretty sure this is it. A moment, monk. My name is Miggle. I am the librarian on Monk Isle. I've been awaiting thine arrival. Librarian? 'Tis my duty to transcribe and care for the prophecies of Zenka. It was I that found the passages that told of thy coming. Monk Isle? Monk Isle is where the followers of Zenka dwell, Ronstock. Only a few believers remain to study and contemplate the mystery of her words. Few are now willing to devote their life to waiting on events that may take centuries to unfold. Faith is not an easy thing. How did you know of my arrival? Yes, Ronstock. 'Tis written that a hero from another world will come to the right and disorder in our land. That is thee. 'Tis also written that treachery will stalk thy steps at the beginning of thy quest. That is why I am here. Not all of Zenka's followers believe that we should take direct action in aiding thee. However, Thoxa and I disagree.
How are you going to aid me?
I must be cautious in aiding thee, my lord, but rest assured that I will prompt thee as much as possible.
Okay.
I believe that an attempt will be made on thy life soon. Perhaps by being forewarned you will be able to avoid it. I cannot tell thee who to avoid here, Ronstock. I arrived here only a few days ago and have remained in the barn for so much of time. I thought it wise to attract as little notice as possible, but now that thou art here, feel assured that I will remain vigilant against anything that would deter thee from thy destiny.
I have this amulet of balance. It's pretty cool.
It was quite a find, my lord. I have been uncovering many small things over the years in the passages beneath the abbey, but this is the first time I have found something as large as a chest. It was a pity that the scroll that accompanied the amulet was so fragile. It was one of the oldest I have yet found. All I was able to make out before it disintegrated was the name of the amulet, and it's said to be used near the Serpent gates. Perhaps this means that there is yet more to be discovered. I shall certainly continue my search.
Tell me of the Zenka.
She was a very wise woman, my lord. She foretold the storms that brought thee to our land and saw the end of the world. Those who believed in her visions banded together to study her words, so that we might help avert the fate she foresaw.
End of the world?
With Zenka's holy writings is the passage, "When at last the great scales unhinge, the overburdened world shall be torn asunder by the opposing forces."
Opposing forces?
I know not, though I would hazard a guess that refers to the forces of good and evil.
Tell me of the great scales.
It could mean anything, Ronstock. Music scales, map scales, snake scales, or weight scales.
And of destiny?
I am not in power to tell thee more of the quest that lies before thee. If I were to tell thee, thou mightest be prejudiced by my words and overlook a crucial event. Alas, Zenka's writings follow no order, and are convoluted and vague. We have spent the years since her disappearance trying to decide if some passage hath already happened, or if one event will follow another. The events in the prophecies are wild and connected by no frame that we have been able to discover. Great storms, the containers of hope smashed, lost love forgiven and restored. We still seek their meanings.
Tell me of this disappearance.
Zenka was not a young woman, Ramstock. After she disappeared from our midst, we found a freshly inked passage that promised her return when the end was near. I always thought that she had discovered some way to ensure that she would live to see her prophecies revealed, though I know not how.
Goodbye.
So long and fare thee well, you studly son of a bitch. Hearken to the sleeping, brave pikeman. I am Birin, a gleeman, a minstrel if you will. I know many tales and tunes of valour and adventure.
Tales?
For those which of the adventurous spirit, I can tell thee of the northern savages. For those who wish to hear of the lost civilization, I can tell thee of the people who left the ruins on this continent. For those who would hear a tale of bitter bravery, I tell thee the tale of the lost king.
How about tell me the tale of shut the fuck up?
Farewell.
We'll talk to him and listen to his tales later. Look at this guy, looks like fucking Meatloaf.
The name is Flendo. I own a provisionary shop in Moonshade and have many important connections there. So art thou another stranded victim of Hawk and this childish fear of storms? Or art thou here to investigate the curious disappearances of Mistress Devra's good husband?
Curious disappearance?
It occurred immediately after I arrived here. I recall that one morning Mistress Devra was beside herself with worry because Angus was nowhere to be found. I told her not to worry herself too much, as sometimes a man will feel too constricted at home and need to wander for a bit. But she would not be dissuaded and sent for Argus.
Argus?
Argus is Mrs. Devra's oldest son, my lord. He inherited more than a little bit of his father's temper and always dreamed of being a fighter. 'Twas no surprise when he travelled to Monitor to become a pikeman. Not all good came of it, however. He found himself some trouble down there, so I've heard, and there have been bad blood between him and Wilfred ever since he left there.
Wilfred?
Wilfred is Argus's younger brother. After Argus left, Angus raised Wilfred very strictly, so Wilfred holds Argus in no great esteem. Wilfred was always a willful, snobbish sort of child, in my own opinion. He needed to have his head knocked a time or two to deflate that ego of his. Angus was stricken when Wilfred left to become a knight.
Tell me of Angus Beefcake.
Angus was a big man. I cannot see how any harm can befall him without alerting the whole inn. I think perhaps he took the notion to leave and go adventuring. He had a strange sense of humour and a powerful temper. Who knows? Perhaps he became angry with Mr. Devereux and walked away. Tell me of the hawk. That bag of wind calls himself a sailor. Ha! Now I'm asking thee, what manner of captain would strand me and poor dumb Cain paying passengers, mind thee, here in this little backwater inn, because of some storm? So I went to the pikemen.
Tell me, pikemen.
Everyone knows that the pikemen guard the road in towns, my lord. They are noted for their honesty. I thought perhaps they could persuade Hawk to abandon his ploy for more money and sail for Moonshade as he should. I made an appropriately large donation to their coffers, but I did not expect them to waylay Hawk to rot in some jail cell. I suppose that is what comes of not knowing the difference between leopards, bears, and wolves.
Tell me of these storms.
I find it hard to believe that a man such as Hawk, with a ship such as the Arabella, would fear any storm, magical or otherwise. I have heard of too many odd events connected to these storms to discount their unusual nature. But all such tales speak of danger on the land. I think Hawk's reluctance to sail lies more at the bottom of an empty mug and an empty coffer.
Tell me of these connections.
Although I am not a mage, I am an influential man in Moonshade, because my shop provides the staples of life to the secluded island. Why, I even know the mage lord's mistress. If we ever leave this forsaken inn, my lord, perhaps I can obtain thee an audience with the mage lord himself. He trusts me implicitly. Ask me again when we arrive, and thou mayest find that some of the mages are very reclusive, and will not speak to thee without proper introduction.
Tell me of Devereux.
Mistress Devereux is a sweet-natured lady, too good-hearted to be an innkeeper sometimes. I had recently begun making the trips with my father, when Donal hired her to do the cooking. That was before she married Angus. Poor woman. First Theron, and then her husband. The Arabella's a fine ship, good lines and fast running before a stiff breeze, and I have heard that Hawk had some sort of enchantment laid on her, so that she cannot be sailed without him on board. But that could merely be more of his idle boast.
Tell me of this trouble.
If thou dost want an answer to Augus's steel, my lord, thou shouldst not mention this to him. It seems that August Temple found him in a duel with a boy from another command. August killed the boy, apparently without giving him any quarter. Sad business for a fighter.
And Donal?
Donal was Angus's father. He was a good, hard-working man. 'Twas a good thing Donal was not anything like his father, Silver Pate. Or I doubt that Mrs. Devereux would have ever given Angus a second look. 'Tis hard to think that Angus disappeared exactly like his grandfather did.
Silver Pate? What kind of stupid name is that?
Why, Silver Pate is the one who built this inn. Everyone said Silver Pate was a pirate who grew too old for the sea and went searching for a way to become respectable. He used part of his treasure to construct this place. There are rumors in Moonshade that he hired a mage for some reason, but I have never been able to confirm it. They say that he was a very suspicious man. Anyhow, Silver Pate disappeared when Donal was still a young man. Everyone thinks the treasure is still hidden here somewhere.
I'm gonna find that shit.
Do not ask me. Silver Pate was a pirate. Who knows what such a man would have hidden? Personally, I think that if there is any treasure, it hath long been found. And if none hath been found, then there never was any hidden treasure.
Tell me more of this disappearance.
Thou shouldst ask Mrs. Devereux about that. All I know is that one day no one could find Silver Pate, and he was never found. Donal took over the end, and nothing more untoward happened until Theron disappeared. Theron was a worker here. Mistress Devereux took him in and gave him work and a place to stay. He was not very bright. Like I said, sometimes Mr. Devereux is too kind for her own good. Anyway, Theron was caught in one of those storms, and no one hath been able to find him since. Oh, yes, Phil Bercio was quite a ladies' man, and that woman would not jump at the opportunity to win Mage Lord's favour. For now, Frigidazzi holds the Mage Lord's eyes, and from what I have seen, Phil Bercio seems to have found a way to thaw the charms of that cold mage. Ask me about it again if we ever sail to Moonshade. I shall relish telling thee more, but for now it only makes me angrier with Hawk for stranding me here.
Tell me of Big Daddy Cain.
Look for the young lad talking to the parrot. That will be him. Witless lad doth not have enough sense to steer clear of Ensorcio. Comes asking if Ensorcio was a mage, and would Ensorcio help him at the ale find his lost brother. Cain does not have the sense of a cat.
Who's Ensorcio?
Now there's one to avoid if ever there was one. The mages wondered when Vasculio took in Sorcio as an apprentice temper like that. 'Tis not good in a mage. And when they consider Vasculio's interests, well, 'tis enough to make a body worry. And then with what happened to the adept's daughter. No one was surprised when the Council of Mages stepped in and exiled Sorcio, except maybe Sorcio himself. Tell me of Vasculio. Do not tell me thou hast not heard that legend. I was not around for any of this, mind thee. I wasn't even born yet, and Sorcio isn't as young as he appears, being a mage and all. But my father talked about it enough. It happened when he was a mere boy. Well, years ago there was experimenting aplenty amongst the mages. There were not nearly as many restrictions as there are now. Vasculio specialized in death magic. Not like Mortegro, mind thee. No, Vasculio did not want to speak with the dead. He wanted to cause death, and he was none too particular if it was a quick death or not. Anyways, soon his research even upset the Council of Mages. When the Council went to deliver Vasculio an ultimatum, they found him indeed so horrible that it was determined that he was no longer human. They put him to death, but his tomb was broken open and empty before a week had passed, and they say that somehow he still lives to practice his dark arts. Tell me of Mortegro. Mortegro is fine, a bit flighty at times, but all mages are, if they don't ask me. Mortegro's true specialty is speaking with the dead. Tell me of the adept's daughter. Oh, thou would do well not to ask too closely about who she is, my lord. Mages are very protective of their privacy and their pride. Suffice it to say that Sorcio took a fancy to the girl, and when she would not give him the time of day, used his magic to, persuade her to see him. It was surprised the council punished him with simple exile. I would have thought he would have gone to the Mountains of Freedom for his crime. Mountains of Freedom? Speak that name quietly, my lord, and hope that thou never hast reason to learn too much about it. Long ago those mountains were full of ore, and many spent their lives mining it, but most of the veins were empty when they uncovered the stone heart. Never repeat that word in public, my lord, or you will find a personal view of the Mountains of Freedom. Stone heart can be used to create another mineral, a strange reagent that magnifies magical power, especially death spells, and it's very dangerous. Anyways, after it was found there, the mines were sealed until Fabricio became Mage Lord, that is. Fabricio became Mage Lord? Yes, he's an ambitious man, my lord. He was also a man of many passions, shall we say. Not all in Moonshade were happy when he became Mage Lord, and Fabricio would have had it that he is a popular ruler. He would enjoy the powers of his office without fearing rivals. So Fabricio filled the mines with all manner of magical traps and made it a prison for his enemies. 'Tis said if thou cannot escape from the depths of the stone, thou art free and vindicated of any charges against thee. But as of yet none have proven themselves innocent, if thou takest my meaning. Mage Lord? The Mage Lord must be an adept and rules all Moonshade. Although the Mage Lord's power is great, it is held in check by other members of the Council of Mages. Being that the mages are by nature egotistical, the Council of Mages is only open to other adepts, the peers of the Mage Lord. Their presence on the Council is meant to keep the Mage Lord from becoming too tyrannical. Restrictions? Well, now there are quite a number of them, and I only know a few, not being a mage. See, certain creatures cannot be summoned within the confines of the city. This would come to light after some damn fool mage summons a dragon that burned half the city down. Only mages approved of by the Council of Mages may sell death spells, and Council must be notified of all research and experiments. That's all I remember. If thou dost desire more, thou should speak to a mage. Tell me of the leopards. I know not any Monitorian who knows, my lord. The leopards are one of the 3 commands of Monitor. They control the tower nearest Monitor itself. I know they share the rule of Monitor. And the bears? I know little about them. They control the tower near Farm, where their natural aggressiveness can be put to use against the goblins. And the wolves? Well, again, I'm uninformed, but the wolves are one of the 3 commands of Monitor. They control the tower near here, the Sleeping Pool. Wolves are regarded as the friendliest of all the commands. Ale is what Cain calls that parrot of his, and it certainly shows a great enthusiasm for the brew. To be sure, not unusual for a bird, mind thee, but a trick most likely taught to it by some sailor before the lad found it.
Thank you for all the information. Take care.
Thanks for thine help. Whatever.
Cute bird. Let's eat it. Alright, that was quite a lot of talking. Let's explore around a little bit. Give my throat a break. There's an abacus. Oh wait, that's not an abacus. That's one of those stupid little gravity bongs. It's a gravity bong. That sure is a foxy fox. This is a big ass building. There's a sleepy mage. It's best not to disturb him, lest he awaken and cast mean spells upon me. Oh, I ate your meat, son. I returned home to the Bull as soon as I received Mother's letter. It was not easy to relinquish my command, but Mother needed me, and so here I am. I've examined the grounds and found nothing. Mother says she heard noises from the cellar. The night Father disappeared. When I investigated, I found crates overturned, but nothing else. I feel soulless. If I only had some shred of evidence indicating what became of Father. And I would do anything for love. Sorry, got me thinking about meatloaf now. Alright. Sleeping Bull. Back into the Sleeping Bull. Time to bust out the sextant. What's the quick key for the sextant? Please tell me there is one. Leave a comment. I'm too lazy to figure it out. 118 South. God, give me time to read. I'm slow. 118 South, 35 East. Alright, there's a tree around here that you can search. God damn it. Is that it? Ah, there it is. I knew it was one of these. Oh, yeah. I'm going to take this bag so I can have a money bag and also a reagent bag, so I need to switch my money. I also need to convert this shit. And some potions. So we need a potion bag. I always consider YOLO to be the cleric of the group. The healer, if you will. So we'll stuff him with the potions. Like I do all my clerics. What the hell? That looks like a key. And we got some sort of key there as well. Oh, leave me alone. There's also a chest on top of this pillar. Gonna need crates to get up there. So let's look for some crates. Cratey poos. I need some cratey poo poos. Meow. There's some crates. Shamino! Get in here. That ain't gonna fit in there either. They're gonna make this a pain in the ass. But we gotta do it. That could be an issue. That could definitely be an issue. Are there any crates up here so I don't need to do that? So far I'm not doing well at solving this puzzle. It would be awesome as if I could throw these off. But I can't! Won't let me! Checking the docks for crates. I remember the shit was there, I just don't remember how to get to it. Aha! I knew they wouldn't be too unforgiving. And I think I can stack these as well. And barrels if I need to. I'll tell you what, something out, some shit weather. I can't see you, fucking cloud, move! You dirty dark bastard. Should be enough. It's definitely worth the time and effort. I probably could have dropped shit and just put these in my hands, but I like making you guys wait. I'll move this shit. Trying to make my awesome stairs, buddy. Oh, you will stack that, you son of a bitch. Alright, well, we have the key. That's what we got in the tree. So open that bad boy up, and lo and behold, some yummy yummies. There's a magic sword. We're going to give that to Dupree so he can use that in his cool shield. We'll give YOLO some magic bolts so he can defend himself. We're also going to get to carry the potions here. Ring of invisibility. We don't really need the kite shield. There's a bag of gems there. I believe that's dust of invisibility. Alright, so we got the magic chest up there. And we'll see you next video, folks, with more Serpent. Thanks for watching.